Good morning, everyone. I can see Juga, Alfred, and if you can hear me this morning, it's a beautiful Saturday morning here in the city of Abuja, and we can't wait to have you all join us. We are ready for you, and your facilitator as well is ready. Good morning, Udoji. Good morning, Idara, and others that are joining us this morning. Yes. Good morning, Delight. Good morning, Okam. Good morning, Johanna. Yes. So once you come in, you can just let us know that you're in, so we know how many people are online before we give out the necessary information that has to go around to everybody. Then we have the usual class. Just to remind you how this training has been conducted, this is the seventh session so far, and I'm sure you all can attest to how fantastic it has been, and how engaging your facilitator has made it been so far. So we'll just adhere to the normal protocol and our rules of engagement that we've somehow established so far. We take the announcement in the beginning. We have Mr. Tefa coming for the training. Then we have the questions and answers. Then at the end of it, we can give the announcement that we want to give. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Georgina. Good morning, Kalu. Good morning, Mohammed. And good morning, Onukak. I apologize if I'm murdering your names this morning. I just thought it wise to acknowledge your greetings. Yeah. So I believe we can all start now. But before I introduce Mr. Tefa to take up the session, there are a couple of information I have to be shared with you all this morning. Just like I mentioned, this is the seventh session you're having, and right from the beginning of our session, we've highlighted how important it is that you participate in this training if you are going to emerge as one of our correspondents or our reporters in your campuses all around Nigeria. We cannot deny how important the training has been so far. And for those that have missed one training or another, they're all available on our platform, especially the YouTube platform, where you can have watch a repeat broadcast of it uh, at your own leisure. So that's on that. Another thing that you must take cognizance of is that the attendance is going to be pinned here this on the chat. So do well to go there to uh, fill in your names to the attendance list. As well, your WhatsApp platform is provided for you to receive information. So whenever the group is opened, it's for perhaps we need comments from you or whatever it is we want you to respond to. That's the reason the group will be opened. It's not open for people to have unnecessary conversation that has nothing to do with what we're doing in the group. Whichever question you have or whatever submission you want to do, we have the email where you can always make that known. So I believe we've had a couple of people here. So number one information I would like to share with you this morning is that the flyers are going out this morning to all the people that, of course, there was a mail sent to you by the HR, and we asked that you share also your location where you want to receive the handbill, the flyers for our contest coming up, and a couple of you shared the flyer, your address to us. Although the number wasn't quite impressive, we got less than 20 people shared that, and I mean it tells so much about how committed you are to it, and needless I remind you that this is also part of your responsibilities, and you will be judged based on how responsive you are so far. So right now we have all our flyers ready, and they'll be going out to different states where people have identified their location. So if I could just take a minute to read out the names of the people that uh, that sent in their location for us to send in the flyers to them. So we have Yakub Helima from Biu, Borno State, Naomi Osaya from Uniben, I beg your pardon, uh, Ekehua Camp. We have Sylvia Akpe Viva from Uniben. We have Obanoje Grace from Edo State University. We have Omotoyosi Hamza Rejoice from Mando, Kaduna. We have Abdul Karim Mohammed, Edo State University. We have Ude Chidiogo, Coal City Uni, Enugu. We have Unwara Some, Osisatek Poly. We have Adetutu Stephen, University of Jos Plateau. We have Joy Odu, Taraba State. Praise Achibong Otosi, University of Calabar. Briggs Tomi Priye, College of Nursing. Kensington Crown Estate. Igbendon University Okada. Patricia Alta, opposite Government College Agriculture Lafia. We have Precious from the same Lafia. We have Beatrice from Gombe State. We have Mirabel from Lagos. And lastly, we have Kitag Simon from Bauchi State. So these are the people that responded to the mail that was requesting for their location. And also, we must remind you that for those uh, that are in the same state, uh, combined together. For example, Jos, Edo, and some other states, we have them sent to the same location. So you have to connect with the numbers of people that are going to be contacting you to get from the location, because we can get to different location, but we can get to a particular place in the state where you can connect to get the necessary documents that you will be required to share. And also for the registration, there is going to be a voice note sent to the group, and also a message that will guide you in helping people to register. And this is going to be shared as soon as we complete this training session today. So please be on the lookout for that. Check your group. There's a voice note that will be dropped, accompanied with a very short text on WhatsApp to guide you. So you can go through the process before you go out to help other people. And for the correspondence, your videos that you're supposed to be sending, it should go directly to 3Piece Media uh, email account. That is going to be uh, shared here at the comment section today as well. We do not want you to use your correspondent accounts to send in your videos and news reporting. And for those that are sending it differently, we want your news reporting and your video to come in together. You should sync them and come as a single document, so we can always pin whose video is to whose reporting. That is as much as I can give for information now. That would allow Mr. Tefa to come in to give his training this morning. Good morning, Mr. Tefa, and thank you for
Yeah, good
waiting
morning.
patiently.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Good, yeah, good morning.
Mr. Tefa, before you go in, for those in Abuja, you would be required to come into the office to get the flyers, and I'm sure we'll communicate address to you subsequently, perhaps on the group or on the comment section today. But welcome, Mr. Tefa, and thank you for,
Yeah, oh,
uh,
yeah, thank you, Mr. Adewale.
yeah, it's good to have you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Um, Good morning, Adewale and trainees, including the technical crew. I remain Tefa Naswen. Today is going to be a very wonderful day, as other days have been. Uh, like I posted on the platform yesterday, today we'll focus on television news writing, television news writing, and how to bring out appropriate teasers known as headlines, to glue the audiences to their television in order to watch the news to the end. News writing for television is different from news writing for newspaper. In fact, news writing for broadcast media is entirely different from news writing for print media. There are reasons for these differences. The television, we're focusing on television precisely. I don't want to include radio because the focus now is on television. So when we go into radio properly, the terms or terminologies required for radio broadcasting will be used and issues related to that. So we'll be focusing strictly on television related issues. Writing for television is very important because the television news has limited time. It's not like newspaper where you have a very big space to write whatever you can write in volumes of words. You can write a lengthy article, story, report that can cover 1, 2, or 3 pages, and readers of newspaper can read at their leisure time. They can take the newspaper while traveling and be reading in their cars, maybe when they're at home or in any comfort zone or places they feel they can read, they will be able to read within the day. A newspaper for today, the story can be read anytime. Even after today, it can still be meaningful to many who have not actually read the news. In television, in television, the writing is quite different because of the visuals that accompany the story. The writing is not as much as that of a newspaper or print media, since there are visuals that support the story. The writing has to be short, has to be concise, has to be straight to the point. It doesn't need to involve compound words, grammar that are very complex. You don't use complex English in television news writing. The English for television is simple. It has to be simple English. You don't need to use big words, you don't need to use complex sentences in writing television news. For newspaper, if you use complex sentences or complex words in writing your news report in the newspaper, the the reader has enough time to cross-check, to confirm, to check the meanings of certain words that might be used in newspaper reports. But on TV, the viewers don't have that luxury to start checking for meanings of words. So you have to be very, very concise, simple in your writing so that you won't create ambiguity in the eyes of the viewers, because the television news media is very, very focused on the use of audio and visuals, or visual and audio as the case may be. So reporters must be very, very careful in producing television news reports. When you are on the field or reporting from the beat reporting, maybe you are into specialized reporting or you are assigned to report from any field, you have to be attentive to details so that you'll be able to write your story appropriately and then form your narration. The narration that would be written will be based on the story that is being covered. That is for on-field reporters. You know, television news report uh, has a script that is being written, news script for a particular news time. Maybe the news is 7 o'clock news, and there is a news script for 7 o'clock, which contain all the news stories to be read or transmitted on television for that time frame. Maybe 7 to 8 o'clock news. Maybe it's 8 p.m. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then maybe we have 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. News, as the case may be. You have to get the details and write the story to be in line with the visuals that are obtained on field. This means that your writing should not be lengthy, because the visuals are there to support the story that is being written. The narration, as you are giving the narration is going in line with the report, because during the report, interviews might have been carried out on certain personalities or eyewitnesses. So there is what is known as sound on tape or sound on film. Some will write SOF on the script, some will write SOT, that is sound on tape. Anyone that sees the report written by the on-field reporter will know that there is an interview at this point. So when you put sound on tape, one person, sound on tape, two persons, sound on tape, three persons, and so on, it shows that by the time the narration is being read at that particular point, one person was interviewed, or two people were interviewed, or three, and so on, as the case may be. So it indicates the number of people that participated in the interview for the on-field report. So while the narration is being written, the on-field, the sound on tape is being indicated on the script, which means interview was conducted, because you are giving a report of a peace or a peace reconciliation meeting that was held in line with the farmer headers crisis. And you mentioned that the governor sent a delegation, since the governor was not in the state to attend the meeting, and the delegation met with leaders of various agricultural associations or livestock associations. And then the president of both associations were there, including other stakeholders who attended the reconciliation meeting. And you are assigned to that to make a report. Once you get the shot of the meeting, you need to actually interview the presidents of the livestock, maybe association, or Meati Allah leaders, or the farmer association, as the case may be, and then the representative of the governor, so that the viewers would actually get a very clear picture of what actually happened by hearing from the horse's mouth. Once you give a narration without giving interview or shots of the interviews that took place, which the personalities spoke about such sensitive issue, viewers may not actually be convinced to believe the story, because television, since it deals with audio visual, viewers want to believe what they see. If you say that the representative of the governor assured them of providing adequate security to help curb the level of insecurity in the state and bring culprit to book, there should be a kind of interview or a shot showing when the representative of the governor said so. Even if it is not an interview granted, it can be a kind of a portion where the statement was made, maybe during the speech presentation, the representative of the governor made certain statements or comments that you reflected in your narration. The the report should show the the place or when the representative of the governor said so. And then once that is being queued out and you continue with your narration, maybe the Mayati Allah president or leader in Benue State or Nigeria also commended the governor, and then promised that they will work in collaboration with other agencies and other association or cooperatives to fight against insecurity caused by those who are infiltrating the people and causing problem, as the case may be. You need to show the recordings where the president of Mertiala said so that it will create confidence in the viewers that actually reconciliation is coming, peace is coming. So your report must be concise. It shouldn't leave the viewers in doubt that what kind of presentation is this, that we can't even see any of the people involved talking. We don't even know if the report is genuine. So television news writing should not leave the audiences in doubt, to begin to wonder if the story is genuine. But once these people talk, and then some stakeholders are then interviewed after the meeting. Now, normally after the meeting, there are short interviews that may be conducted apart from the speeches that might have been presented during the meeting. Then there will be some short interview, maybe one or two, three persons giving granted interview, like 1 or 2 minutes interview. Some interviews just few seconds. Just ask 1 or 2 questions and you get the answer. So by the time you compile this and present the report in line with the narration, it gives the viewers the high level of authenticity of the report, and it brings believability. It makes them to believe in the story and be ready to explore other means of bringing peace and ensuring to do things the right way once they see the critical stakeholders or the personalities involved in that report. So in writing television news, these issues must be taken very seriously. The reporter must ensure that the details of an event are captured and written in a manner that would send the message strongly to the viewers so that there will be no ambiguity in the report. Any report that has equivocal meaning would send, danger to the viewers. They may feel that something is not right, or there must be something that is being swept under the rug. So reporters must be straightforward, must be concise, must not uh, must not be diverted in their writing or report, so that the central message, will be passed when they are writing the report. Now, I have a copy of a news report from NTA Network Center, Makodi. This report I obtained when I was doing my own practical experience when I was a student at NTA Television College, Jos, Plateau State. I'm a product of that institution and obtained my degree from ABU Zaria in affiliation with NTA College, Jos. Now, this is the script. This is a new script I have here, obtained from NTA Network Center, Makodi. It has teasers. Teasers are like they are headlines that reflect some stories, important stories in the script. They give you some of the important stories. So this has some teasers. NTA Network News at 7 p.m. 22nd 4th 22nd March 2016. Teasers. Stakeholders on peace call for implementation of recommendations that will end attacks in Benue State. This is a headline, it's a teaser as well. We're going to say teasers are news headlines that are captured in the report or in the script, the news report or in the script that are being brought forth so that the viewers will understand and will know some of the important stories to be read subsequently. The second was a World Earth Day, 7.8 billion trees to be planted by 2020. And then you have, and Catholic media professionals in Nigeria to build bridges of peace and unity through balanced reportage. Now, these teasers are being read in the studio by the newscaster. The newscaster reads these teasers and headlines before the news properly begins. Now, the writing, as you see, are written in a way that highlights the most important aspect of the story for that time. For 7 p.m. News story on NTA, that those are the key points, the most important. You know, the headlines bring the most important. There's something that is called a pyramid form of story writing. Pyramid. It means the most inverted pyramid, rather inverted pyramid. You know, a pyramid when it's inverted, you see that it's bigger at the top and smaller at the end. So a news report begins with the most important stories and then get to the least important stories. So in writing, the reporter must ensure that the most important story are taken cognizance of so that it will glue the audiences to their seats. Because when you begin with stories that are not interesting, some audiences may not be interested in following up the story. So the news headlines attract audiences to stay and watch the next story or the story that has a headline that is of interest to them. That is the importance of news headlines. They attract audiences, just like newspaper. When the basic or most important stories are on the newspaper front page, you know, a lot of readers would be attracted to buying the newspaper to read because it captures content that are inside the newspaper that the space may not be enough to begin on the front page. So in television news writing, reporters must ensure that they put the most important aspect of the story before the least important news story. Every story is important, but there are stories that are more important than others. That is a fact that should not be ignored because people want stories that are of human interest, stories that will make more impact, stories that cover a larger audiences or people than stories that are focused on few categories of people. So reporters must take this into consideration. Now, the the symposium, because the meeting was a symposium was held in which certain resolutions were met. I'm just going to read part of this to your hearing. The federal government of Nigeria has been called upon to implement the various recommendations by security agents and other stakeholders towards preventing incessant attacks on farming communities in Benue State. This was the consensus at the symposium organized by the Center for Peace and Development Studies, Benue State University. Grace Itakba has details. Now, this uh, lead, because this is a lead, this is normally read in the studio by the newscaster. Once this is read, because by the time all the reports are being brought together, they are put to form the news bulletin. So in that bulletin, the reports are being submitted, edited, and put together. So Grace Ichakwa has details, roll tape on the script. This is what is written here. Roll tape. You see roll tape. Then you see Q in. Now this Q in on screen, you will see the report from Grace in that meeting that was held at the Center for Peace and Development for the symposium. You will see it's either you will see Grace giving an intro, or you just hear her narration, and then you begin to see the shots. Like I said before about establishment shots, before Grace would bring out the narration about the symposium, you may see the Benue State University Center for Peace Development Studies signboard, or you will see their auditorium, and then you see the meeting ongoing, or see guests arriving, the meeting, and then you see cutaway shots of various interactions as the report is being ongoing, and then there may be cutaways of clashes, some videos of clashes that had happened where it won't violate the NBC rule. So you won't show blood and how people are being shot or killed, but you can show a sign of violence, maybe people running helter-skelter, indicating that crisis has been going on, and the meeting is to resolve the issue and bring lasting peace or lasting solution to the crisis. So there will be various shots that will be brought together to give a kind of concise report of the event. So there will be shots, and then where certain stakeholders spoke, the government spoke, and critical stakeholders spoke, the shot will be obtained and presented. Now, this is the narration. This is the narration. But at the end of this session, I will take shots of this script and send to the group to be seen and studied. So this is the narration of the symposium on the attacks on farming communities. Okay, let me read this. Benue State is known to be an agrarian state, hence its slogan, the food basket of the nation. Over the years, the state has had its fair share of crises, which has displaced people from their ancestral homes and destroyed their livelihood. The recent attacks on the people of Agatu, Logo, Takaguma, among others, are such examples. It is against this backdrop that the Center for Peace and Development Studies, Benue State University, Makurdi, has organized a symposium to create a forum for members of the academia and other stakeholders to rub minds with a view to profiling solutions to end the crisis. Chairman of the occasion, Professor Astrom Adejo, said the crisis has direct and indirect effect on the people of the state, especially in the area of food security. The representative of the Vice Chancellor of Benue State University, Professor Julius Ashiko, Professor Joe Iyo of the University of Belize, Professor Adegba Okpeja, Dete Makurdi, Dr. Sule Abega, and other discussants said the issue of security is everybody's business. Some of the participants bailed their minds. What is written here is sound on film. You can have sound on tape, which means two persons were interviewed or two persons spoke during the the meeting, because during certain meetings, people can be allowed to air their view. So the reporter at the event must ensure that everybody that contributed must be captured. You must record the speeches of those that spoke, so that if anything is to be written to make reference to them, you will have visuals that will be obtained that reflected their sound on film. Some normally write sound on tape. Now, once this happens, you see the visuals of the people being interviewed or talking during the symposium or communicating. So the viewers will see them talk to express what they feel about the entire situation, about the crisis in Benue State, would air their view. Now, the continuation said the symposium had in attendance civil society groups, religious leaders, and security agents, among others. There was an interactive session where participants aired their views and suggestions. In Makodi, Grace Ichekba, NTA News. If you see this, as I have said, it is very concise, clear to the point, and no ambiguity in this writing. This is how a news report should be written. The writer is not supposed to induce their opinion in the report. You are not supposed to write what you feel should be. Even if you have a different opinion or a different stand on what is going on, you need to report the way it is being said. You shouldn't add your own opinion to what is originally said. It will distort the report, and people will see three-piece media as being a biased media organization that doesn't say the truth, which means they are taking side. Even when you know that what is being said is affect your people, you should not be emotional and then induce a report that will show that you are biased or partial. So it is not appropriate to do that. So the reporter must ensure that the writing is concise, is brief. That is why you see this report the way it is. In writing, there are various leads that are used in writing news stories. But for television, it is important to use summary lead. There are various lead. We have delayed a lead, we have creative lead, we have anecdotal lead, we have a single item lead, we have analog leads, and there are many leads that are used. Question leads for writing stories, but these are mostly used in newspaper because newspaper reports, because readers have enough time that you can take them around and still bring them back to the point. But television has limited time, so you can't start going about bringing certain leads that will take time for the report to for the writer to hit the point. So it is not appropriate to use such leads in television news report. The summary lead is very essential because it contains the basic elements of news reporting, and it is the most common used lead in journalism, summary lead, because your first paragraph of your report is the lead. You know, it has to be attractive. It has to contain the basic ingredients of the report, the basic elements of the report. The 5 WH of your report, even if not all, are reflected in the lead. At least majority of that should be reflected. The 5 W's and H, you have who, you have what, you have where, when, why, and how. So your report should contain that. If you look at what I have read, the federal government of Nigeria has been called upon to implement the various recommendations by security agents and civil society groups. stakeholders towards preventing incessant attacks on farming communities in Benue State. This is a very powerful lead. It has captured who has been called upon, the federal government. And you see those involved, security agents, and then you look at where farming communities in Benue State and what actually led to that because of the incessant attacks. So your lead should contain basic elements of the 5WH in news reporting so that it will interest the viewers, the audiences to be glued to listen, to watch and listen to the story to the end. So it is important that news writing should be focused. News writers should be focused on the major objective of the assignment. They shouldn't be distracted by emotions or other feelings that they may get that may accompany certain reports that they will be giving. In writing television news, the report should be concise. The lead should be good, and the reporter should avoid using compound words, using complex words, using compound sentences or difficult sentences that may have a certain ambiguity that would create confusion to the viewers. So the reporter must at all times understand that writing for television is different from writing for a newspaper. Once these are understood, it will be very helpful for three-piece media reporters so that they will be able to make significant impact and bring more viewers, because this media organization can only get very unprecedented viewers if the presentations are very creative, solid, attractive, and professional. So you have to be professional in your writing. You have to be eloquent, concise in your writing. You have to be focused. Your writing should be devoid of emotions so that it won't bring three-piece media to a state of disrepute. Because if certain practices are displayed, it will bring three-piece media to bad light, which would not be appropriate. I think we have gone to a level where I'll say we have come to the end of this session, and we'll be prepared for subsequent session. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that wonderful session, Mr. Tefa. Very fantastic. I also was followed keenly at everything you said, from the writing to the 5W and H, and also to being concise in our news reporting. And I'm sure if those that are following keenly can all see the linkages of how the previous lecture that we've been having, how to establish your short, and how that is also important in how you write and how it is being broadcast. I think we can all see how it has been linked from one to another. So the session has been
Thank you.
quite ironed out perfectly. So thank you very much for that. And I believe um, the correspondents as well have followed keenly and have gotten a lot of uh, thing from it. Adetutu said quite an interesting class, I must say. And Mohammed Seni said, a nice presentation, Mr. Tefa. When I grow up, I would like to be like you. That is from Mohammed Sani. So I'm sure you can see that your students are quite happy with what they've heard so far. But before we go into the question and answer session, just like we always do, I must remind that there is an attendance for all to fill, and also it's important to follow us on all our social media platforms, and perhaps we have to start looking out for those that are following us and those that are not following us, and those that are engaging our post on media, because if this is what you want to participate in and this is what you're going to be contributing in as a correspondent, then you must as well do well to go through all that has been done so far, to understand what we're doing, how we're doing, and what exactly we hope to achieve with our presentation and so far. So, Mr. Tefa, I think I'll go to the question session right now. Um I'll start off with Samuel. It says, my question is, do you mean every report must also be written, sir? Did you get the question, Mr. Tefa? I think you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. The question was, do you mean every report must also be written? That's from Samuel.
Okay. Thank you. Samuel. Yes. Yes. I've seen the question. My question is, do you mean every report must? Yes. I can see. I can see the. I can see the question. Okay. Samuel. What a nice question. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. The issue is, when you write a report, it supports the story better. There are situations where you can be doing a live coverage. In live coverage, you're not permitted to write reports. As you are covering, you are giving the news the way it is. You are ad libbing, that is, you are talking without reading from the script. So there are instances where stories can be given without being written, especially when it is a live presentation or a live program, or you are doing an on-field report that is live. So you may not have that is ongoing. There will be no need for any report to be written. But if it is going to be a recorded report, a recorded story, uh, writing a report must be written even after the news event is being covered. But the report that is written will not explain the details because the individuals already have the details and brought the new script to shoot in teasers and headlines. Because of the visuals that accompany the story, you don't have to write to explain what a particular person said, but you can write to give an intro to where the event happened and the reason why the event took place, and then you introduce those who said one or two or three things as the case may be. So there is the need for a report to be written when a story is covered.
All right. Thank you for that. So this is from Mohammed Sani. Said, Mr. Tefa, please kindly explain in brief the following TV news terms: teasers, lead, wrap in, and news bar.
All right. Thank you very much, Sunny. The following terms: teasers, leads, wrap in, and news bar. Teaser, like I said, these were the interesting headlines of a news report, interesting headlines of a news story. They they give you, because the report has many stories. The bulletin has many stories. The script has many stories. So the teaser brings the most important aspect of the story to the viewers. It's not all stories that form the headlines. The headlines focus on the most important stories of that presentation. So those are the teasers. They give you the most important headlines of the story. Then the lead is the introductory or the first paragraph of a report, which contains the important aspects, contain the summary of the story. They give you an intro. That is the lead. It introduces you to the story, and the introduction must be very, very important, must capture the basic elements that would attract the viewers or the audiences to the story. That is why I talk about the 5WH, because most leaves contain who, what happened, where, when, why, and how before the body of the story begins to explain. So the lead is like a summary, it gives you a summary of the whole report. And then the body, other supporting sentences, will now be explaining the what, the where, why, how, and so on and so forth. Then the wrap in gives the summary. Yeah, that is the summary. You are bringing in the kind of summary of a report. So you are giving a wrap in of the entire report of the story that is being given in a particular a news media organization. So you give the summary of a story and give it to the audiences to understand that the entire report, these are the basic elements that were being taken into consideration. So news bar these would be, there may be certain elements that may not actually be communicated during television programs or activities. So the news bar reflects certain stories, certain events. They bring various side attractions, various happenings, various events that would be screen pulled through the screen. So you can be seeing the news bar, you can be seeing sports news. We follow, maybe the station will say follow our website, www.com, and all that. You see today, sports, Manchester United defeated. So there will be some information that would be included in the news bar that will be going beneath the image that's on the screen to give the viewers certain information ongoing events. Maybe a breaking news had occurred that had already been aired or saved. So the news bar will now contain such breaking news, so that anybody that tune into the station can be able to see certain events that had already been presented by the newscaster. So the news bar will pull them through, and then other activities too that even the newscaster didn't mention can also be reflected on the news bar. Thank you.
All right. Apologies, Mr. Tefa. We had a break in transmission. Apologies for that. But before we continue with other questions, I'd like to introduce the GM, Mr. Samson Smith. He has a couple of things he would like to share with us and give to the correspondents as well before we continue with that. So I'll yield the mic to Mr. Sam to continue with that together with Mr. Tefa.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining the training so far. My name is Samson Smith. Mr. Tefa, amazing trainings over the weeks. Um, I'm sure I've also learned a lot from your trainings. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Yeah, great. Okay,
Yes,
so
I
as
can
we
hear you
as we
very
approach
well.
this point in time,
Thank you, sir.
I think especially my concerns have been these questions I get from trainees. So people keep asking random questions that are. So this is not a school. This is a very transient project, and we have it's time based, so we don't have all the time to accommodate questions that are not pertinent to the need for which we are engaging people for this project, especially neighborhood uh, reporters and the campus reporters. So if you ask questions like what is this, what is that, I mean, you should try and narrow your questions. And I believe at this point you should be asking questions like, how do you get your reportage out? How do you document your stories using the tools that you have, like the phone? Obviously, that's probably where you're going to start from. So, how do I get my stories out? How do I record with my phones and get crystal clear pictures, audio? Do I need to get like an external mic, probably plugged into the camera, into my phone, or probably for interviews? And if I need to interview, because I saw somebody send something, the person sent a report, but you're doing interviews and you're flipping your phone here and there. So do I want to do I want to capture the scene and then now focus my phone camera on an interviewee, get whatever I need to get from that respondent, and then move into the scene, and then I can now knit all of those things together through editing with my phone. So all of these questions of asking what is this, what is that, what is key, what is should not concern yourself with that. You should look into how do you get the job done with the technology that you have at the moment. And that's what I'm saying, because all of your activities will fall on my desk. I'm going to see all of this, but I think it's very important we clear that. So I really don't want to see questions that have nothing to do with your eventual deliverables. And you know what I mean by that. So if you're doing, if you go by now, you should be talking about how can I edit to my phone? Is there an app I can use? Is there a CapCut? Is there an InShot? Do I start to learn those things? What are the challenges I have in editing my footage together? So I also, if you shoot like a 30-minute, if you just keep taking footage here and there, we don't expect you to send us that bulky footage. You can as well put it on your phone and get a CapCut or an InShot with your phone, edit it, tell a good story as brief as succinct as you can, and send to us. Then we'll do all of the old embellishment later, improve it, and then we can air it. So stop asking questions that are not relevant, and then let's move into the a more practical training or practical illustration of how we can get our phones to work. Because I mean, so many people go out there, the people are doing amazing with their phones, with an iPhone, with an Android, tell a good story, keep it focused. And you say, oh, is there something else I can do? Is there like a phone tripod that can create stability for my shots so that I can do something and like you can shoot something very real good that someone would even know it's not a professional camera. So don't bother yourself about what is the history of mass communication, what is the definition of whatever. You have no business. Focus and streamline your questions and your inquiries to how you can you can start to, run and gun with what you have at the moment. And if you have challenges, oh, I downloaded this, it's not working, how do I put it? Then we'll do a practical class and probably project those things, share the screen, and they say from here to here to drag this clip, put an audio, import an audio to it, trim this part, and then probably you want to add text, add the text to it. At the end, you can put a logo, you can put whatever it is, and put all those things together for a 5 minutes reportage or report and send to us. Your job is done. So thank you very much. I just said let me chip that in. So we don't just keep asking questions and then you bother Mr. Tefa to keep asking to keep answering and save that for your lecturers. That's why you went to school for 4 years and all of that. We are not concerned with you. We're not educated. We're not here to start a full school or a college. We're here to just say, oh, this is a project at hand. We have a short time, and then we just want to put you through the intricacies. Let's stick to that and maximize the time that we have here. Mr. Tefa, thank you so much. I have to exit right now. I hope everybody understands. Let me type if you understand what I've said so far. Let me just say, oh, I understand, oh, and I'll be out of your face. Okay. Okay, I can see good luck says I understand. Okay, that's it. So, Mr. Tefal, I'll hand it over to you. You've been amazing. We've all been learning, and it's been a very insightful classes with you. Thank you so much for what you do. Hopefully, we'll see very soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm
Thank you,
out.
sir. Right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tefa. And I believe our correspondents have heard that clearly from the general manager. The essence of a lecture, just like he said, and I'm reiterating, is for us to produce something thereafter. It's, of course, this is not a master class where we learn all about the history and everything. And I'm quite sure during one of, I think, two previous classes prior to this, Mr. Tefa was speaking about the gadgets that we need to use. We spoke about the tripod, we spoke about some editing app, even some text to speech that we could use. I think those are the deliverables that we should begin to see how we can put together because I think we received one on our WhatsApp or was it on through the mail? It was the video quality was not what we expected, and it wasn't even a reporting at all. It was just like a selfie video that the person was giving in. So I believe after this training, we're going to put together perhaps a master class or something to show you how to use some gadgets or the necessary gadgets you'll be using or and how to place your camera on the tripod or what to use even with ordinary your phone and how to merge things together to give us the necessary reports that we require. But nonetheless, the conversation and the teaching so far from Mr. Tefa has been fantastic, and we couldn't but be grateful for that. So I believe we don't have any other question. But before we go, just like we stated earlier during the introduction, our flyers will be sent out today to different states. The HR sent a mail to everyone to send in their location and their contact details and how they will get these flyers. But just like I mentioned, we received less than 20, which is not quite impressive at all. So that is going to be going out today. And for those that are saying that their name wasn't mentioned at the beginning while I was saying, reading out the names. There's some people in different states, in the same states. I beg your pardon. So if you're in Jos and we have 5 people in Jos, we wouldn't have to read 5 names out. So if you're in Jos and you've seen somebody in Jos that their name has been read or the location has been stated, that means you're merged together with the person in Jos. But thereafter, we're going to share the list of the states that we're going to be sending things to. So if you send your name and you can't find your name there, then you should contact the contact person, the number of the person that is responsible for your state, so that you can reach to the person and get your flyers. And also, we mentioned at the beginning that there's going to be a voice note sent to the group and also a small text to help you and guide you to understand how you can encourage others to apply, and also teach others how to apply for the contest as well. And also, I must remind that there is a um, attendance that must be filled, and that is also here in the group. Please do well to do that. And also our social media platforms, and also our YouTube page, the essence of it is to grow it and also to expand our audience. So do well to follow us on our YouTube page. I'm sure there are over uh, maybe 30 or 40 people listening right now, so please, after this program, go to our YouTube page, follow, go to all programs that we've done on Ecstasy TV and Afro Connect TV, and watch them, like them, share them with your family, friends, and colleague, and also read them, understand them, because this is what we're going to be doing, and it will help you in understanding what your assignment is. And I think that is where we draw a close for today. Yeah, and just to remind, the flyers are going out today to different states, and go out to get it. The numbers will be shared to the group, and you can see who you can contact to receive yours. And for those in Abuja, please, you would have to come to the office to get yours, and we're going to send the address to the WhatsApp group as well. And if you have any challenge, please, the email is always open for you to send in your any inquiry that you have. And whenever we open the group chat for you to ask questions, please make sure that you adhere to the rules and not share things that are not acceptable. So thank you, Mr. Tefa. I believe this is where we draw a close. Perhaps the next class, of course, that conversation will be had subsequently, that we need to make sure maybe we have to have a technical training session where we guide them through how to use their phone, how to record, how to merge content together to see what we can do. But
Yes.
fantastic conversation so far, Mr. Tefa, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's where we draw the curtain this morning. Or I think we're in the afternoon already. It's past 12. Thank you very much, and thank you to all our correspondents as well. You can watch a repeat broadcast of this on our YouTube um, channel. Thank you, and have a great and restful weekend, Mr. Tefa.
Okay. You too. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, bye bye.